at it again. It is currently my time. It is 6:54 Friday, January 13th. You though, it's pushing 8 o'clock. James, long time since you hopped on the podcast. I don't think it's been since the draft.
Nah, we had to do beginning of the season, no?
I don't think you did. I really don't.
Well, we're here for some playoff football. Let's do it.
I know. And truthfully, you've been absent just because, like, sometimes, most of the time, like, I would ask and you had something going on. Sometimes, though, I just would plumb forgot and I would be like, oh, I have to get this. Whoops. I have ESPN, the ESPN app pulled up on my iPad. And a video played, and I was watching a movie before.
Going about the Packers, man.
So, yeah, let's go ahead and talk about some storylines from last week. I mean, it was a disappointing end to a disappointing season.
I went to bed, dude. I thought it was over. Not because, like, you were up big or anything. I was just like, yeah, this game's over. They're
After
not
that interception?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it was over. I mean, it's time to move on.
I was going to say it might be for the best, truly. Because it's not like you, I mean, aren't going to make a legit playoff run, no offense.
No, we weren't. I thought, maybe we win.
The only reason I say that is because you're going to play San Fran.
Yeah. I mean, there was a part of me, I was like, we might win a game or two, but I didn't see us in the Super Bowl.
Was a chance.
But, my takeaway is it's time to move on. Yeah. I said it last year. I even argued for it the year before after losing to Tampa. But last year, I mean, it broke me. I'm like, it's not going to happen. It's time to move on. We didn't, and it was the wrong call.
You did say that last year. You were just like, yeah, I mean, I love Rodgers, but it's just not going to happen.
It's not going to happen. And I honestly think he knows that.
And it's one of those things where, I mean, if you can even just get a marginal guy, you're right back in it. The NFC is weak. You know what I mean? You can compete for the
I don't think, I will say, like, he's either coming back to Green Bay or he's retiring, in my opinion.
I agree.
I don't think he's going to get traded. I see way too many people out there think he's going to get traded. The time to trade him was last year. That has passed. I don't think we're going to get... I think there's a team out there that would probably give a couple firsts, maybe.
I don't think so.
Maybe. Yeah, it's not going to be the haul you would have got last year. But yeah, time to move on. You got to make a decision. I mean, if Rodgers moves on, like, you're going to pick up Jordan Love's fifth-year option and give him 2 years. But we could have got the same result this year with Jordan Love, probably.
I agree.
As we got with Rodgers.
Well, I mean, your result was no playoffs, so yeah, you definitely.
Well, I mean, would we have? I just mean, would we have gone 8-9? Probably not.
I think
maybe.
You were one team.
And then on top of that, we would have had draft picks. We would have had cap space. I would have felt a lot better. Now, it's kind of bleak.
Goodkins is a good GM. You'll be okay.
I think he's a whole lot better than people think, and obviously I think Matt LaFleur is a good coach. Is he as great as what I thought he was? I mean, probably not. Or I'm sorry, not as I thought he was. As he was like during like 2020 and 2021, probably not. But I do think he's a good coach. So roster's not horrible, and I think it would be. I mean, depending on the quarterback, I think it would be a quick return to the playoffs if so.
Any team that is traditionally good is going to stay good. I mean, I see you guys like, the Steelers or a team of that ilk. You're not going to win 5 games next year.
I was, there are a lot of fans, and I tweeted it this week. I'm like, you can tell in the Green Bay fan base, the fans that have only been around or been a fan with Rodgers. Then there's the fans like me who have only been fans for Favre and Rodgers. And then there are the fans that have been around for a while and experienced the 70s and 80s. You can tell because the Rodgers fan base is like, you have to keep him, you have to do all this and whatever, to make him happy. And then the Favre Rodgers fans like me are kind of like, sure, great if he wants to stay. If not, I don't really care. Then there's the 70s and 80s fans that are like, you can't hurt me. I've been through enough as it is.
It's the same with the Eagles fans, dude. Those 80s and 90s Eagles fans, man, they were like the worst team in the league for like 20 years. So. And
I said it last year. I embrace a rebuild. I really do.
Dude, Shane, I'm not fucking with you. I'm talking about with my friend, my roommate's a Cowboys fan, and I was like, you want to know my least favorite time as an Eagles fan ever in like the 20 years I've been watching the Eagles?
2017, 2018, 19, 20.
Yes, because I thought it was Super Bowl or bust.
Yeah.
When you're Super Bowl or bust, you're going to be miserable. Because even if you win 13 games and go to the NFC Championship and lose, you're going to be pissed. It's stupid.
From maybe not 2019, because I really didn't know what to expect with that team, and they won 13 games, even though they weren't really a 13-win team. Yeah. But 20 and 21, not so much this year, but those 2 years, like, you could have put a lump of coal up my ass every Sunday, it would have been a diamond by the end of the day.
Dude, I'm telling you, it's so fun when you're like, dude, we might make the playoffs this year. Like, we might get in. It's so much fun. I don't care what you say. You're way less disappointed when you lose. You're way more excited when you win. When you expect to win and you win, it's not that cool.
No, it's not.
You know, so it's just like this. That's why this year was so cool for the Eagles. Like, I thought the Eagles were going to win 9 or 10 games.
Well, let's talk about your Eagles. We've talked enough about my Packers. Your Eagles are killing it. Have been killing it. And I've always said, James is, I've said on the podcast, PSA update about James. He's happy. He's very happy about the Eagles. Go ahead.
Put my hand up. Eating crow, but it tastes like filet mignon because I thought Jalen Hurts sucked, and he just doesn't. And he's sweet. Now, will he ever be like a top 5 guy? Maybe, maybe not. I would say probably not. But do I think he can be like a 5 to 10 guy that can get you a first down every time he touches the ball because he can run and shit? Absolutely.
Well, go ahead. Sorry.
I mean, dude, Roseman's going to win Executive of the Year. I mean, another year where he just hit on everything. I mean, he signed Reddick, ended up being second-team All-Pro. He signed Bradbury, ended up being second-team All-Pro.
That was a very underrated signing.
3 All-Pros this offseason.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like, I mean, I think the Eagles window is just opening, so I'm like pretty excited about it. I hope Jalen can take like a semi-team friendly deal. I know he's going to get paid, but like, don't take, $48 million a year or something. Take like $41, $42 million a year or whatever. I mean, I like him at like 35, but that's just not going to happen because he just got second-team All-Pro. But I'm excited about the team, dude. They're good. We finally have 2 good receivers. Devontae Smith's a beast. The O-line's nice. We finally got a couple good pass rushers. Our corners are getting old, so we're probably gonna, need some corners soon. But
I think 2 first-round picks to help with that, and it looks like it's a pretty good corner class.
I agree. I liked your Porter, Joey Porter from Penn. Like that pick to Philly. I don't know about at 10, but like maybe that maybe somebody wants to trade.
We'll see. Right now it feels early. I heard on a podcast there this week I confuse it with Stick to Football. That's the podcast that Connor Rogers was on before. Now he's on the NFL Stock Exchange podcast, and they said like it's the first corner is Ringo from Georgia, and they said Porter from Penn State. Like those are 1 and 2.
We'll see. I'm gonna tell you right now, if like they get quarterback happy after like the combine and stuff like that, and like quarterbacks go first 3 picks or first 3 out of 4, like Howie's gonna try to trade up for Will Anderson or Jalen Carter. I don't think they'll be there, but sometimes people slide because something comes, maybe some sort of medical or something like that. I know that's who he wants.
Penei Sewell was one. The quarterbacks went early. He dipped a little bit because I think he had something came up on his physical. Yep. And Detroit took him. Haven't looked back.
Remember Jeffrey Simmons?
Yeah, that was another one. Stud.
The whole league now. He tore his ACL coming out. He got picked, 2nd round?
No, I think he was still a first-round pick. But
he went. Was he?
I think so. I could be wrong.
But either way, like I remember they were saying, like he was best D tackle in the class, and he tore when he slid big time.
Both of those Mississippi State guys tore their ACL?
Jeffrey Simmons did.
And Montez Sweat, I think.
No, because Montez Sweat still went kind of high.
Okay, all right.
You would know more than me.
I thought both did, but you might be right. I know for sure Simmons did.
Let's just get this shit out of the way, by the way. Like, NFL is so much better than college football. I'm so
so we can talk about, while we're on the subject, let's talk about the College Football National Championship. That was bad. That was bad. That was hard to watch.
No, it was really bad. Like bad for the sport bad.
Yes.
But I do think that was like a one-off. Like, dude, if they played again, it wouldn't.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that.
I don't think Georgia was that much better.
No.
I just think piled on early, and they were just like, damn, dude, we're not catching up to Georgia down 3 touchdowns. And they just, I don't want to say they quit, but like, they just knew that they were overmatched, and they kind of just let it get snowball. Because I wish it was Ohio State, man. I wish Ohio State played. I think it would have been a little bit better. But
I mean, it was. We got Georgia, Ohio State in the playoff.
Oh no, I meant Michigan.
Yeah,
sorry.
Michigan. Well, hey, beat TCU, and we don't have this problem.
I 100%. And to be fair, I still think it's Michigan by probably 2 touchdowns. So it's not like it would have been like a close game or anything. But dude, 65 points.
I was watching that game, and William Snoddy texted me. At one point, well, it wasn't me specifically, our group text, and said, like, this is worse. This was still kind of early in the game. And he was like, when it was like 31-7 maybe, and he said, this is worse than Bama Notre Dame. And I was like, that's an overreaction. Like, it's too, we still got some time here. Nope. It was worse by the end of the game.
Let me ask you this. How do you feel about Stetson Bennett? Not as an NFL prospect or anything.
I mean, dude's a great story. I mean, I think he's from Georgia. I know he was a Georgia fan growing up. Walked on, earned a scholarship, 2-time national champ. I mean, that's a great story.
I've seen people talking absolute nonsense about that guy. Yeah. Like, he's fantastic. Like, I saw a bunch of people, Georgia would have went back-to-back with anyone at quarterback.
No.
Why didn't they? Why doesn't Bama win every single? I know they win a lot. Bama win every year. Why doesn't Ohio State win every year? Like, that's not true.
I was in that camp in 2020. Like, he really wasn't that good in 2020, and I was like, I'm not sure you're going to win with this guy. But then last year, like, he has proven it. If you're still in the Stetson Bennett camp, like, saying he sucks, like, you're a moron. I'm sorry.
He's a great college player.
Yes.
I mean, he's not going to translate well to the NFL. He's slight. He has a weak arm, but
could he be a decent backup? Sure.
100%. Yeah. I would take him back up on my team.
Yeah, I mean, that's really all we have to say about the national championship. But I mean, I texted you the next day and said, I think I like the NFL more than college at this point.
It's just so much better football, man. And like I said, and I think a lot of people would agree with this, a great college game probably does trump a good NFL game. But if we're just talking straight on the field, man, like just coaching, I mostly think it's D-back play. The D-backs in the NFL, like, I don't think people realize how absolutely insane those guys are.
Yeah.
College dudes, they're all wide open every play. Like, it's insane.
I don't know if they're running zone most of the time or what, but yeah, probably, because in the NFL, I think there's a whole lot more man.
It's just like these guys are insane athletes at wide receiver for like Ohio State. I mean, all these guys run 4.3s, dude. Their routes are crispy. Like, everyone's just getting way more professional at football way earlier on now. Like, I feel like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know, but NFL all day. Like, I since West Virginia's been terrible, like, I watch college football, but like, I'm not that into it. I'm really not.
That's a whole other conversation to have about West Virginia.
Sorry.
What's that?
I said NFL guy through and through. I'm sorry. West Virginia, gets back. Dude, I don't even need you to be good. Can you win 7 games for me? For the love of God.
I don't, can we win 7 and just be exciting like we were under Dana again?
That's what I'm saying. Like, can you just do something cool for once? Like, can we go get a Will Greer and throw a bomb to Gary Jennings in Texas again?
Since Brown took, we're getting way off topic. Since Brown took over, like, we have just been boring to watch.
Boring as shit. I miss Dana because we sucked, but at least we were throwing bombs.
Yes. We were losing shootouts.
Yeah, we were losing 35-45, like 20-27. It's so lame, dude.
Yeah, it's terrible. But I mean, I just enjoy NFL more. It's an even playing field. Best on best, like, it's not much of a drop off.
It's so tactical in the NFL. I feel like a lot of college coaches are rah-rah guys, which is hard to do. Like, that's not rah-rah guy's a bad way to put it. Like, CEO guys, they run the team, they get the everybody excited. They coach their coaches to coach all the players, but like NFL, it's just like, dude, if you don't know what you're doing, like, you're just like, we saw it. Urban Meyer went to college. Urban Meyer went to the NFL. Matt Rule went to the NFL. Like, it rarely works because those guys just don't have it up here.
College isn't just, the playing field is never going to be even.
College is recruiting.
And that exactly. And the only way it's going to change is if there's some kind of a draft, which I would love, but it's not going to happen. Because the powers that be in college don't want it to be that way. They want the same 10 to 12 teams competing for it every single year. You think I don't think you do. I think we agree on this. But I'm sure there are people out there that think I'm crazy. But this all stems from the NCAA not having much control over football. D1 football, like FBS football. Which they don't. They don't control. A lot of people don't know that. They don't control the playoff. They don't control the national championship. It's the powers that be that control that. I don't know who exactly, but this is what they have wanted ever since the NCAA basically relinquished control. So that's our college takes. It's just not as fun. I mean, maybe if West Virginia can get good again, I'll get back in the swing of it, but I'm not sure.
I mean, I'm not either, man. I'm just not. It makes me sad. It really does.
Let's talk NFL. I don't want to dwell on that too long. I'm going to get really sad. What's that?
I said womp, womp,
womp. Womp, womp. All right, so, I mean, we can do a little Week 18 recap. Chiefs. I mean, that was the best the Chiefs have played in weeks. I don't know if that's just the Raiders mailing it in or what. Jags. That was a game. Like, I was watching that game on Saturday night, and I was like, I took the Jags, like, minus whatever the spread was. I was like, they're going to kill them because they've been playing so well. And then as the game was going on, I'm like, this was so, like, why would I doubt Mike Vrabel? With the division on the line, he's not going to show up?
To be fair, and listen, this is football. I hate when people are like, oh, well, if they didn't turn the ball over, it would have been this. But, like, to be fair, they ran a really stupid double reverse that gave them the ball back, and Trevor Lawrence sailed the ball on Zay Jones where he was open by 10 yards. Like, dude, you don't do the reverse and you just hit the fucking, pitch and catch there, and it's not a close game, but that's what football.
We've talked about the Packers. I will say the Lions. I really like where they're going.
Dude,
just as a observer of the game, not as a Packers fan.
Dude, they're going to be ridiculous next year. Don't they have the most cap space?
It's either them or the Bears.
I think it is the Bears, but they're up there. So it's like, dude, go sign 2 defensive free agents, draft 5 defensive players, and you're good. They have 2 good ones. They probably need a tight end again because they got rid of Hawkinson. But, like, I'm keeping Goff. I'll get a late-round quarterback, and if I need to get one later, I will. But I'm keeping Goff.
Oh, for sure. I'm not going to force a quarterback until, like, I have to, pretty much.
Dude, Goff is fun.
Yeah. I will say, I want to see how this team, like, their offensive coordinator, Ben Johnson, is getting interviews with these head coaching jobs. He's likely gone, I would say. I want to see how they play without him.
He sounds like a Panthers coach to me.
Well, I think he's from North Carolina. I would love to see him there or Houston. I want to see those teams get good. I don't know. Maybe it's because I live near Houston now, but.
So, like.
And I've always liked the Panthers.
People seem to have this idea that, like, Houston's like some clown show organization, and they're like. Obviously, they've had a bad couple of years, but they're really not. So I heard they won 6 out of the last 12 AFC Souths.
Yeah, I mean, AFC South in general has not been good. Jacksonville's been bad outside of 2017 and this year. Titans have had some good years under Vrabel, but before that, they really didn't do a whole lot. Indianapolis, that was the, second tier, I guess, with luck. But no, it's been Houston. I will say since, was it Bob McNair, who was the owner, died, they have kind of been a clown show.
I agree. That is exactly what happened. But, like, at one point they were stacked with talent, man. If they can do that again, I think Nick Cassera is not that bad, even though he's probably...
No, I don't either. I vouch for him. Now, I will say, like, you're going on your 3rd head coach in 3 years, and this one, I argue, you got to nail.
And it's not a bad job. People would say it's a bad job because they don't have anyone, but that's a good thing. First of all, you're going to have job security, which which is funny to say because they just got rid of 2 coaches.
Well, I don't think that the interview processes went that well the last 2 years.
They knew both of those guys were getting fired,
right?
Which is dumb, by the way. Like that's not cool, but it is. It's a business. It is what it is. Dude, they have a bunch of picks. You're going to be able to pick your quarterback.
Not just this year, next year too.
And the division sucks.
Yeah.
You can go there and win that division, not next year, but probably the year after. If you hit a couple picks, you can win that division pretty quickly.
I mean, Indianapolis, we'll see. I still think Tennessee's good, but they're like the Green Bay of the AFC right now. Their future's kind of bleak. They don't have a lot of money. Quarterback position's up in the air. I see that division. I texted you last week. I see that division being Jacksonville's for a while. I mean, based on what I saw this year.
I agree. That's what I was sitting there for. I really want Sean Payton to go anywhere but the Cowboys, but people were like, "Oh, he'd never go to Houston." Like, I would. If they gave me $20 million state-free income tax and I get to fucking pick my quarterback and start from scratch, I'm going.
I don't think he wants to deal with a rookie.
He's not.
Yeah.
I'm saying.
Oh, yeah.
Like that. Well, dude, he wants to go to LA. Like, let's be real. He wants to go work with Justin Herbert. Like, they have a stacked roster. He could walk right in and win 14 games first year. I'm not saying he will. Could.
Yeah, I mean, I think so. I really don't. I think he's probably lukewarm on the Denver job. That's the best one right now. Who wants that job? I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, that's an attractive job, but I think it has come with a lot of baggage.
Dude, but then he's going to have to play against Justin Herbert instead of with Justin Herbert. Dude,
well, hang on. The Chargers still have a coach. Let's not forget that.
Not for long.
That's what job? Oh, the Raiders. You were saying the Raiders should hire Sean Payton or somebody, and I was like, the Raiders still have a coach.
John Harbaugh.
Oh, that's who it was, John Harbaugh.
But dude, Staley's gone. Because first of all, sneak peek into our picks here in a couple minutes.
Yeah.
Losing this weekend to the Jags. I'm telling you right now, and he's gone because he got.
Oh, if he loses, he's fired for sure.
Because he got Mike Williams injured. Even if they beat the Jags and lose next week, he's gone. They're getting rid of him. They're too good to be what they are. They're 10-7 again. Fishy, whatever. Because you're playing against Mahomes. I get it. Like, it's hard to. You would have had to win 14 or 15 games this year to get the. Win the division, but it's like they're just underachieving with that roster, man. They're underachieving like MFers.
And to be fair, they had a lot of injuries this year, but Denver was a disappointment. The Raiders were a disappointment. Like, there were a couple teams in the AFC that were total disappointments.
Dude, weren't they like 2-5 at one point, or 3-5? Like
that sounds right. Yeah.
Run, but I remember at the beginning of the year, I was like, "Damn, dude, do they suck?"
I remember. I know for sure they were 6-6 at one point. And I was like, he's not going to last much longer if this continues. And then they won, 3 out of their last 4.
He's not a good coach. I feel the same way about Robert Saleh. Like, I think that was a roster thing. Like, dude, your side of the ball can't be dog shit.
I don't think Saleh's that bad.
He's not that bad. I'd fire him.
I don't know. You were close.
What did
Get the quarterback. I would like to see him with the quarterback position when, like.
He doesn't hold the defense.
Yeah.
Dude, Middlecoff bitches about this all the time. He's like...
No, and he's right about that. If your side of the ball's not good...
Bro, you haven't earned that. Like, you need to go... You got hired because you're a defensive guru. Go make the... They had a good defense and shit. Don't get me wrong, but this was a Brandon Staley thing. Brandon Staley's the defensive coach, and their defense sucks, and they have good players all over the place. It makes no sense.
Yeah. What else? I mean, Tampa, Atlanta, Tampa sat just about everybody. Bills, Pats won, looked really good, responded well after the whole Damar Hamlin situation, which we can get into a little bit because I didn't talk about it last week. Obviously, very scary situation. I was worried in the moment. Well, I'll say I handled it probably poorly because I was not watching the game. I was watching West Virginia basketball. But right as that game ended, I start getting flooded with tweets or whatever about, oh my gosh, what the hell's happening in this game? And I turn it on, and it was right when Zach Taylor walked to Sean McDermott, and after that the game was canceled or whatever. So I was like, what the heck happened? And I'm like, they're still going to play this game, right?
Yeah, I mean...
So I was not there to take it all in, so my reaction was different than everyone else's.
A legitimate miracle, though, because, like, first of all, I thought he died. Like, I legitimately thought that
I think he probably did. I haven't really read up on it, but...
Everyone's face, like, if you he was completely distraught. I was like, dude, he died. Like, he wasn't breathing, obviously. So, like, I thought he passed, but then even when they're like, yeah, like, he didn't die, he's got to breathe. I was like, dude, he's not going to, like, he's got brain damage. He didn't.
Yeah, for real.
Feel like he's going to, even if he comes through, he's going to be a vegetable. Dude, he's fine. That's fucking awesome.
Less than a week. Out of the hospital in less than a week after, let's call it what it is, a heart attack.
Not something we have to get, like, really into, because there's obviously a bunch, but, like, miraculous. Genuinely miraculous. Like, good for him. He might play football again, dude.
If he does, that's incredible.
But I think he will.
I mean, I said the whole week, I was like, I'll be shocked if he plays again. At this point, yeah, I mean, he's out of the hospital in a week. He was talking after a couple days. I don't know what happened. I would chalk it up as a fluke.
Yeah.
And I don't want to say it that way because that demeans what happened, kind of, and the seriousness of it. But the dude's 24 years old. 24-year-olds don't just have heart attacks on the field.
Glad he's okay.
Yes.
And I know you're pulling for the Bills here. Outside of the Bills are actually third for me, by the way, but I would not mind if the Bills won.
Let me see if I can guess. So obviously the Eagles would be one. I'm going to say probably Tampa, too.
No, you're going to get mad at me, dude. I fucking love Joe Burrow, dude.
I'm fine with Cincinnati.
I love Joe Burrow, dude.
My brother has adopted he's a huge Joe Burrow fan, so he has adopted Cincinnati as his team since they drafted him.
It's just, so, like, obviously I want Philly because that's my team, but then it's like, dude, the Bills or the Bengals, they never win anything. Like, dude, them winning the Super Bowl would be so sweet.
Yeah.
Dude, if Joe Burrow wins a Super Bowl for Cincinnati, he's already in the Hall of Fame. Like, I don't care. You know how fucking impossible that is? That is the worst-run franchise, one of the worst-run franchises in all sports.
I mean, the things that he's been able to get done already is pretty impressive. That's an organization that is, throughout its history, relatively cheap.
Yes.
I mean, they didn't have an indoor practice facility until Burrow showed up. And I don't know if it's him, but someone in the organization has been like, we got to keep this dude around.
Yeah.
And maybe it's someone in the front office. Maybe it's Burrow himself going in there, putting his balls on the table and saying, we got to do this right.
Wouldn't shock me.
It wouldn't shock me either.
Dude, I obviously love Josh Allen, president of the fan club, but I love Joe Burrow.
No, we're co-presidents of the fan club. I argued that I love him more than you just on calling him the best quarterback in the game. Look, I'll even admit, that's an exaggeration.
I also have another hot take, and then we can really get into this. So who do you think is the most underrated player in the NFL?
Not quarterback, player.
No,
Gosh.
Quarterback.
Oh, quarterback.
Player, but I'm going to say quarterback, but it can be anybody.
All right, so quarterback.
It's Mahomes. He's the
best. He's
Player.
underrated?
He's the best player in the league, and people, are always trying to put people above him. Like, he's so far and away the best player in the league.
I mean, I said that as a joke.
Dude, I'm telling you, I've never seen that great of a player be talked about as little, besides, Mike Trout in baseball. It's just bizarre. It's just, I don't know.
Do you think he's I would say he's properly rated.
I don't think so.
I mean, I would say, in my eyes, people with brains saying he's a top 2 quarterback, and I would say yes. I don't think there's an argument. I think we have the same opinion. We just differ on what other people think of him.
All right, let's get into these games.
You want to get into the games? All right, we can skip the rest of Wild Card Weekend or Week 18. All right, so Saturday first game is Seahawks at Niners. Niners are -9. The line has gone. Oh, I bet the line has gone down because of the weather.
Rain.
Yeah, weather. Forgot about that.
I think Pete Carroll is that it's going to be a slot fest.
What's that?
How excited do you think Pete Carroll is that it's going to be a slot?
Oh, I think both coaches are loving it.
Dude, he's fucking giddy right now. That's the only is to slop the game up. That's the only
yeah.
And by the way, I think they have a lot better of a shot than people think. Not going to win. I get it, but dude, Pete Carroll knows how to play Kyle Shanahan. He does it all the time. He knows what he does. I'm telling you, I think that game's going to be pretty close, dude. It
wouldn't surprise me. You're talking about a Super Bowl winning head coach who I want to touch up on them a little bit, has done a phenomenal job this year. The entire Seattle front office. That I will say, you gave eat crow about Jalen Hurts. I got to eat crow about Seattle. I've shit on Seattle for years.
Everyone had them picking like top 3, and who wouldn't? Why wouldn't you do Geno?
But my God, I mean, this draft full of studs. Charles Cross, Tariq Woolen, Kenneth Walker.
Richard Sherman, just in the 4th round?
Yeah, something like that. And then Kobe Bryant, the other safety, is pretty good too.
Dude, he looks like a basketball player out there playing corner. What is he, 6'4"?
He's big. Yeah, he's big.
Dude, he's up there for Coach of the Year. He's definitely in the top 5. There's a lot of good candidates.
We talked about that. I think there are like 5 or 6 dudes who have an argument. Yeah, usually it's not that many.
Tomlin, Doug Peterson, Shanahan, Sirianni, Dayball, and
Oh, I would put O'Connell in there, even though I have my issues with Minnesota, but I would put him in there.
For sure.
I think I wouldn't be shocked if this game was close. I mean, Super Bowl winning head coach. But I mean, San Francisco's physical. Seattle's defense isn't that good. You're gonna have to run the ball well. I'm not sure Seattle can do it.
I can see them just really trying to disguise some like weird shit to get Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy is still really inexperienced. I think people are starting and listen, he's a rookie, 7th round rookie. He looks great, by the way, but they really haven't played anyone since he stepped in. They played a bunch of scrubs.
I mean, sometimes it takes a while for the people to get the tape and figure out how to attack guys. And Colin Cowherd, while I've grown lukewarm on him, says it best, like by November or Thanksgiving, the tape is out and you are what you are at that point. And we're not even close. Like if this was a normal season, we're 5-6 games into the Brock Purdy era in San Francisco. So we're not even close to when I think teams are really going to start figuring him out.
Dude, by the way, Fox Cowherd sucks, dude. He sucks. I used to love Cowherd.
I did too. We would listen to him at the Chick-fil-A.
Dude, he's an elitist now. He just talks like he's like, oh, I'm so LA. Like, dude, you're lame as fuck. You are a dork. He is a dork. A fucking dweeb. I don't like him. I don't like his haircut anymore. I don't like how he's he reminds me of Nick Wright in the sense that they always.
Oh, I can't stand Nick Wright.
Every point they make is so condescending. It's almost like they're trying to they're talking to you directly, even though they're on TV and they're doing this. I don't like them. I think they're annoying. Both of them make decent points sometimes, to granted. I don't think either of them are stupid, but dude, he is just so fucking annoying now. I hate him.
No. I mean, Lefko was my guy forever, and now he's been out of the spotlight. Not out of the spotlight. He's on NBA on TNT, I think. But I miss him so much.
Oh, man. Me too. That Sims and Lefko was such a good show.
It was. I mean, even after, when it was just the Lefko show, it was still good. I miss him. So we're both taking the Niners in this one. I think you're higher on Seattle in this matchup than I am.
I am. They cover. I do think Seattle will cover. Because, dude, I think it's going to be a 17-13 game in my opinion, or maybe 20-13 game in my opinion. I don't think it's going to be 30-something, 20-something.
No, that's what I had when I gave my picks without checking the weather.
Yeah.
But you're probably right. It's going to be a 21-13 kind of game. Chargers at Jags, Saturday Night Football. You hinted at this earlier. The line hasn't really moved a ton. It's still Chargers -1.5. I think it opened at -1, then it went to 2. Now it's at 1.5. But a lot of people taking the Chargers in the media. We're going against the grain here.
Look, I mean, because at the end of the day, I think when you look at it, you're I'm going to take the better quarterback.
Right.
I wouldn't be oh, you're dumb for taking the Chargers because they are the better team on paper. But I just think Doug Peterson is going to outcoach Brendan Staley. I think it's that simple. At home.
Yes.
That's just really where I'm landing on it.
That's where it comes down to me. I have more trust in Doug Peterson than I do Brandon Staley. Now, Staley might win. It doesn't change my opinion about him.
Absolutely not. And I think, for what it's worth, I think Herbert and Lawrence are very similar players. I do think Herbert is slightly better, marginally better at this point.
I was curious. I was thinking this the other day. Where would you rank Lawrence among the quarterbacks right now? Just outside top 10? I think that's where I was with him.
I think it depends on how you look at the question. If you're just saying, who are the top 10 quarterbacks right now, not who would you start a team with? Because if you're talking who I would start a team with, he's probably like top 5, top 6.
No, I would say who are the best guys in the league right now?
He's probably just outside.
Yeah, I would have guessed 11 or 12.
I think he's like a – yeah. I don't know, though, because a lot of players who I used to think were a little bit like Dak, I used to think was top 10. He's not.
Now we flip-flop. I was once the Dak hater. You were a little bit of his defender. Now we've kind of switched. I think he's just had a bad stretch the last couple weeks.
Or what, his entire career, Shane?
Well, he's been really bad the last couple weeks.
He's 30, and he has 1 point.
Is he really 30?
And that's a 9-7 Seahawks team in the wild card round. He better win this weekend. I can tell you that right now.
You're going to light him up. So we're both taking the Niners and Jags. Sunday games, Miami at Buffalo. Right now, it's Bills minus 13.5. So it's gone up quite a bit.
Bills are covering.
Yeah, I don't think Tua's been ruled out yet.
No, yes,
has he?
Yes.
Okay. Then yeah, Bills are gonna win, probably going away.
Bridgewater is pushing to play, but he probably won't.
No, I don't think so either. The afternoon game here. This will be fun. Giants at Vikings. Vikings line has not moved in this game. It's still Vikings minus 3.
All right. So I changed my mind. Dude, that was what my brain wanted to happen. Like, because I want to play the Giants next round because the Seahawks are going to lose. I don't want to pay the Bucs or the Cowboys if I can avoid them. I think the Giants have a good chance, but it's just like, dude, when you start to look at matchups, they just don't really have any, man. Maybe again, their DNs against their tackles, like the Giants' DNs against their tackles, or maybe even just the entire O-line against Giants' D-line, which is a neutralizer, by the way. But, like, dude, everywhere
Giants' D-line's pretty good. Like, it's not bad.
They have a very good starting for D-line. But I just sit there and you can never underestimate Kirk Cousins' ability to just have an absolute stinker in a big game. And like, I don't like being that guy, but like, it is true, dude. Like, we're gonna disagree. I don't believe in that. Dude, but it is egregious, dude. He has
I know what the numbers say. I'm not that guy. I'm all about matchups. I don't believe, that was one thing, like, I remember when Green Bay played New Orleans and Florida last year, and Rodgers went out there and sucked it up, and everyone was like, well, look at his numbers in Florida. He sucks in Florida. I'm like, I don't believe just because you cross the state line.
That's different, though. That's a different.
I don't believe just because the clock is at a certain point in time that Cousins just all of a sudden forgets how to play.
It's not the time. It's the eyes on the game, Shane. It's prime time games. I'm not saying he sucks because it's 4 o'clock. I'm saying he's the only one getting what? I'm taking the Vikings.
Okay.
I'm taking.
You're the one who swayed my opinion. Then you change your mind after I make it official on my blog. You little shit.
Hold on. Dude, you know I made some good points, though.
You did, for sure. You swayed me.
It could definitely happen. I think they're much more evenly matched teams than you think, but I just think that the Vikings have way more high-end talent.
They do. That was my point originally.
Who's covering him?
Yeah.
Nobody. I don't even know who their corners are. I think Adoree Jackson's actually finally back.
They went in there, though, a couple weeks ago and made it a close game. I think Dayball's one of those guys. Give him a second chance. Maybe he finds a way to win. But, like the Chargers-Jags game, I'm going on coaching here. I think Dayball's the better coach.
Yeah. I think that's close, though.
It is close. I think O'Connell's done a really good job this year.
Yeah. He's going to be for a long time.
Sunday night football, Ravens at Bengals. Lamar Jackson ruled out. I think if NBC could have this one back, they would not take this game. Bengals should win this game. I'm shocked the line isn't more. It opened at like Bengals minus 7, and it's only Bengals minus 8.5 at this point.
Bengals are going to beat their ass, dude.
Yeah, I'm going to go Bengals as well. I mean, I don't like 8.5, but I would probably hammer that.
Yeah, just money line. I mean, yeah, but dude, they just can't score points, dude.
The Ravens have been terrible without Lamar Jackson.
I've ever seen in my entire life is the Baltimore Ravens. Every game is like 10-13, 16-17. It's like, dude, this is the worst. This sucks.
Is Lamar back with the Ravens next year? I don't think so either. I think we've approached that territory.
You know what? You want to know why? A lot of people are thinking it's Lamar. I'm not paying you, dude. You've now been healthy, or you've now been unhealthy.
This is 2 years in a row at least.
You haven't, dude. I don't care what anybody says, and I get it. He has no help. It's like the same. Dude, I know Lamar Jackson's a good quarterback.
Yes.
I'm not saying that. Dude, what the fuck has he done since 2019? Nothing.
Whole lot of nothing.
Nothing. So that's where I'm at on it, dude. I heard someone say it today. They're like, yeah, I think Lamar peaked. Like, I think his best year has already happened. And
maybe,
I could be wrong.
Maybe.
Because I think he's good, and like, I still think there's also a chance like Ravens trade for D-Hop and give him his contract. Like, I don't think he's definitely going.
No, but that's where I'm leaning right now.
Him for 2 picks, for 2 firsts.
I didn't catch that. What?
I said I'd franchise him and trade him for 2 first-round picks.
I mean, I don't. Peaked is a strong word. I'm not sure I'd go that far, but I think that's a fair argument. I really do.
To be fair, I didn't say that.
Right.
Yeah. An interesting point. I was just like, dude, because
it's hard to argue against it, honestly.
Dude, I picked him in fantasy 2 years in a row, and it's fantasy, whatever. But like, I saw his games every week, and I was just like, he's not playing that well, dude. Now, granted, he doesn't have anything but a tight end, but you know what, dude? Like,
I will say this. I mean, he doesn't have a whole lot to work with. The offensive coordinator, Greg Roman, he's very limited. Like, we saw it with Kaepernick. We're seeing it with Lamar Jackson. Once you figure out kind of how to defend the run with him, he doesn't have a whole lot else.
That's all I know.
But yeah, I don't think Lamar's back.
Where do you think he goes?
Someone's going to pay him.
He's got Jets over him to me.
I wouldn't mind seeing him with the Jets.
Dude, ready-made team. He could go there, and I bet you they'd win 11 or 12 games first year.
I mean, I agree. That's a roster. Joe Douglas, we have both pounded the table for Joe Douglas. And he has assembled a good roster there.
Yeah, weapons.
They do.
Wilson, beast. Absolute beast. I think they still have Corey Davis. Breece Hall, beast.
Yeah.
Absolute dog.
He was my pick to win Offensive Rookie of the Year until he got hurt.
He would have won it.
Yep.
He was the best player on the field when I was watching him, dude. He's a beast. But didn't he go to Iowa State?
Yeah. All right, Monday Night Football. Cowboys at Bucks. Cowboys minus 2.5. The line has gone down slightly.
The Cowboys are the better team, so I'm going to pick them. I really hope they don't win.
Really?
Yeah, I've been on the Cowboys.
Well, no, you have. We both have been on the Cowboys.
Suck, dude. They suck.
I thought for sure you would bank on Tom Brady.
Normally I would, but what has he done this year for me to do that?
He hasn't really.
Exactly. And it's like, dude, I love Tom Brady, but he's fucking 45. Like, he's going to be bad at some point.
We're going to differ here. I'm going to go with the Bucks here.
Okay. Good.
I don't like the way Dak has been playing. He's thrown 11 picks in his last 7 starts.
You want to know the crazy thing? Everyone's fixated on Dak and fair because he hasn't had, a great, a latter part of the season here. Dude, their defense has been dog shit for a month. I'm not talking average or
the pass rush went away.
Bad. Dude, Michael Parsons has half a sack in his last 6 games.
Yeah.
1/2 of a sack.
I said Dak hasn't been playing well. I don't like the way Dallas has played well played.
Yeah.
Pass rush went away. Dak's not playing well. I'm off. I'm off Dallas right now. Maybe they go into Tampa, beat them by 40, and I'll feel differently. But I would be worried if I was a Cowboys fan right now.
They are. I mean, my roommate is worried. But at the end of the day, they still have a bunch of good players on
the
their team.
I
wouldn't.
I am not in this camp, and I don't think you are either, going by the way you talk. There's a pocket of football fans out there that are convinced Tom Brady's going to go on a run. I don't know what you've watched this year that makes you think that, but this team's not going on a run.
I think it's fair to say just because, I mean, let me ask you this. Do you think Tom Brady's afraid of any of the teams that he's going to have to play? There you go. That's all. I mean, that would be the only thing I'd say. It's like, are the Eagles better? Yeah. Do you think he's afraid to go play a team that he beat pretty last year in the playoffs?
But they haven't won more than 2 games in a row all year, and all of a sudden they're going to go win 3 or 4? No.
And then you go look at the games that they were winning. Dude, they were squeezing them out of their ass. Game, they didn't dominate one game all season. Maybe the last game of the season or like last 2 games of the season. But
not really. I think let me pull it up here.
Yeah, dude. I mean, they're not winning the Super Bowl. I can tell you that.
They're not getting to the Super Bowl.
No.
So their wins, they beat Dallas by 16 in week 1. They beat New Orleans by 10 in week 2. They beat Atlanta by 6. They beat the Rams by 3. They beat the Seahawks by 5. The Saints by 1. Cardinals by 3. Panthers by 6. Yeah, I mean.
No.
All right.
They haven't beat all year.
So, want to keep going? Want to keep going with these matchups?
Yeah.
So you have, or we both have, Kansas City and Jacksonville right in the divisional round. That feels like the right time for Jacksonville's run to stop.
And yeah, agreed. They just don't have the horses, man. Dude,
I'm really excited about their future, though.
Dude, the Chiefs remind me. If you've seen, everyone's seen it, 'cause it's one of the best movies ever. Terminator 2.
Oh, of course.
He reminds me of the fucking cop, dude. Patrick Mahomes is just like they're down 20, and I'm just like, they're still gonna win. I say it every time. I'm like, they're still gonna win this game every time. So it's just like, yeah, that shit's over. They're gonna win.
The thing that concerns me with the Chiefs is they have not taken care of the ball that well. Granted, Buffalo hasn't really either. I worry about that, but I will say in the AFC, like, there's not much of a drop off between the Chiefs, the Bills, and the Bengals.
No.
Each have their question marks. Each have their strengths.
You could legit make an argument that every one of those teams is better than the other.
I argue maybe right now, like, that's 1, 2, 3 in the NFL.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I agree.
So, the other AFC matchup, I believe we both have Cincinnati and Buffalo. Feels like we're destined for these teams to meet after the first game was canceled in the regular season. I can't go against my boy Joshua Patrick Allen.
Bengals are winning that.
Okay, all right. That's interesting. Why?
Joe Burrow.
Just Joe Burrow? That's all you got?
Does he ever lose? Like, I get it. He did lose. Dude.
They lost in the Super Bowl. They lost 4 games this year. Yeah, he does lose.
Joe Burrow.
No, I don't blame you. Since he's playing really well, even though they've had some injuries.
Like, their defense is really good.
Yes. I'm just gonna ride with Josh Allen in Buffalo. I'm gonna take the Bills.
It's like a 51-49 thing. It's not like I think the Bengals are gonna win or anything, but yeah, I would pick the Bengals.
NFC. I have Eagles Giants, the matchup you want, and like Jacksonville, like the Giants might win 1 game, they're not winning 2. And in Philly, Eagles get a week to get healthy. I'm gonna go with Eagles.
To the NFC Championship, unless they play the Cowboys or Bucs. Like, if it's the Seahawks or Giants, they're waltzing.
You have Eagles Cowboys though, correct? Yeah. So you're going Eagles still? Okay.
100%.
Then the other divisional matchup, I have Tampa, San Francisco. You have Minnesota, San Francisco. I would imagine we're both still going to ride with the Niners.
Yeah. Eagles and Niners are destined to meet.
Yeah. Just the other teams in the NFC don't come close, even though Minnesota on paper has the same number of wins.
It's not happen because it's football, but I mean, if we're just like, I mean, they have the 2 best rosters by a mile. I don't even think it's that close. They both have 6 All-Pros. Like, they have the better team.
So your AFC Championship, I believe, is Kansas City, Cincinnati. And correct me if I'm wrong. First, is this not a neutral site game?
No,
it's not. Okay.
I'm going to ask you a question, and it's going to answer my question for me. How many times has Patrick Mahomes beat Joe Burrow?
0.
Bengals, Super Bowl, baby.
Wow. Okay. So I got Kansas City, Buffalo, which would be a neutral site in an AFC Championship, and I think that benefits Buffalo a lot. Arrowhead is one of the toughest places to play in the NFL. Neutral site, I don't know. I don't think they've announced where it would be. I think they've ruled out Detroit and Indianapolis. What's that?
In Atlanta.
Atlanta? Okay. Indoors, that probably benefits the Bills.
Slightly, yeah.
I'm just going to wrap with the Bills. I think that they're, the most put together team right now, probably. They're getting somewhat healthy. I think that I read they got Micah Hyde back. That's going to be huge. They still are without Von Miller, though. Plus, with the whole DeMar Hamlin thing, I think they are riding some serious momentum into the postseason.
Real thing. Football is very emotional. It's 100% a real thing.
So, NFC Championship, we both have the Eagles and the Niners. I think I know where you're going to go with this one.
Nah, the buck stops for my team here.
Ah, really? Okay.
Listen, man, I didn't expect this team to even come close to where they're at this year. Like, I don't think they're a Super Bowl team. Wouldn't surprise me one bit if they got there. It honestly wouldn't surprise me if they kicked the Niners' ass. It really wouldn't.
If this was 3 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, I was sitting on a couch with my mom, or maybe it was Thanksgiving, with my mom, and she was like, "Who's gonna win the Super Bowl?" And I was like, "Well, I think Eagles. The good teams are in the AFC." She was like, "What about the NFC?" I'm like, "I don't see a team outside of Philly winning the NFC." And then San Francisco caught fire.
Yeah, the crazy thing is I'm not afraid of their defense in that sense, which is funny because I think a lot of people would be like, defense. Dude, Shanahan is going to scheme on Jonathan Gannon. Yeah. Who's like, Eagles fans are really stupid and they've been shitting on Jonathan Gannon. Dude, we had almost broke a record for sacks. I think we were like number 2 in yards. We're like number 5 or 6 in points allowed. Like, great defense, but like, you can just tell, dude, that when it's like somebody who really, really knows how to scheme offense, dude, he's just chunk play. Dude, he's going to do some crazy shit to Ayuk, then some crazy shit to Debo, then some crazy shit to fucking Kittle, and then some crazy shit to McCaffrey. Like, they're just going to dice us on offense. I really do think that's what's going to end up happening. I think it'll be really high scoring, actually. I think it's going to be like 30-something, but yeah, I think the Niners are going to win.
I also took the Niners. I actually went back and forth. I originally had the Eagles because I thought that extra week was going to really help them get healthy.
And healthy for what it's worth. Lane Johnson practiced today, said he wasn't in that much pain, which sounds ridiculous. Josh Sweat is back.
Lane Johnson's one of those guys, when he's in, they win.
Yeah.
So, and I'm still going to go with the Niners, even though you're telling me all this. I can't change my picks now. Once they're locked in, they're locked in. But they are still banged up. Niners are hot right now. I'm not sure they can win the Super Bowl, which kind of gives away my Super Bowl pick, but I just like the way they're playing right now.
Yeah.
So your Super Bowl, Cincinnati, San Francisco. Does Cincy win its first Super Bowl?
Yep.
Okay, I like it. At least my brother will like it, at least.
Yep. I think so. What do you think? Bill?
I got to ride with the Bills. So I have Bills, Niners. That was both of our preseason picks.
Yeah.
Was Bills, Niners, and I see no reason to pick against either one right now.
For what it's worth, I do think Von Miller would be the difference there, and he's just not. Oh, like, dude, I know that sounds dumb because like football is not like a one player on defense kind of thing, but like Von Miller just always seems to get a playoff sack. Every playoff game he gets a sack.
Bills though, I worry if they can run the ball.
Yeah. Dude,
and if Josh Allen's playing hero ball, that concerns me a lot.
Dude, I could see Josh Allen having like a 3-pick game and losing.
I could too.
That's what I think, like, just in my heart of hearts, I see happening against the Bengals. I just see him having, but because dude, he's a gunslinger. He's just like, I think he's like a better Brett Favre, to be honest with you. He's gonna throw picks.
He's a mobile Brett Favre.
He's going to. Brett Favre was pretty mobile.
Well, he was. You're right.
He didn't run like him, but I meant like just like to throw the ball. But yeah, man. I think both of those are good picks. It's going to be an AFC team. I do wholeheartedly.
Yeah, I don't think an NFC team's winning the Super Bowl.
And you never know because it's one game once you get there. But the quarterbacks over there are just very good.
Who knows? Brock Purdy might be the next Tom Brady for all we know, and he's just getting started.
For what it's worth, non-Eagles fans don't know this. 17 games, last 17 games, Jalen Hurts has played. What do you think his record is?
I don't know because wins aren't a stat.
16-1.
That's impressive.
Very impressive. They don't lose a lot of games that Jalen Hurts plays.
Except in the playoffs last year.
He wasn't that good last year.
I know, I'm just fucking with you. I feel like there was something else I wanted to touch up on. Oh, what was the text I sent you about the Eagles last time the Eagles... It was something about winning the Super Bowl. It was like last time something happened, the Eagles won the Super Bowl. I gotta look it up real quick.
Because it was some dumb shit.
It was some dumb shit. Let me... what did I send you? Oh, yeah. The last time the Jags were in the playoffs, the Eagles won the Super Bowl. That was it.
Yeah. Let's go.
So, I'm not saying. I'm just saying.
Just saying.
I'm cheering for the Bills, obviously. Joshua Patrick Allen, I've been on him since his days at Wyoming. We were on the fan club before it was fashionable to be on the fan club. Don't listen to what they say at Pardon My Take, although I love Pardon My Take. They were in on Josh Allen as a joke. I remember that.
Yeah.
They were like, oh, let's just ride with Josh Allen because he's from Wyoming and he's got all the traits, but he'll probably suck. I vividly remember them saying that.
Dude, and I don't even remember why I thought
And we were like, no, we think this dude's for real.
I was just like, dude, this dude is 6'6" and has an absolute fucking laser beam on his shoulder. Like,
he was born with a rocket for an arm, literally.
Literally. So, yeah. I would love that the Bills won. Absolutely love it. Bills, Bengals, Eagles, I'm there.
So Bills are 1 for me. Probably your Eagles are 2nd. If the Chiefs won, I wouldn't be mad. If the Bengals won, I definitely wouldn't be mad.
I like Pat Mahomes. So.
I like all 3 of those teams in the AFC. Jags aren't going to win, but it would be nice to see them go on a run.
I don't even mind the Niners. Like, as long as it's not...
I know. Nope. Hate the Niners.
Oh, yeah.
I would take issue with the Niners winning, the Bucks winning, the Cowboys winning, the Vikings winning. Giants, I don't really care. So it's only 2 teams in the NFC for me.
Nobody knows how to choke a game away like Kyle Shanahan, so...
Yeah. I'm so ready for the tweets. Like, if the Niners make the Super Bowl, they're going to be like, oh, this is their 3rd Super Bowl. Rodgers has been to 1. I'm like, yeah. And then they'll probably lose. And then I'll say, how many have you won? Fucking, I hate the Niners with every fiber of my being. What else do we have to talk about? I wanted to have you on for your Phillies run there to the World Series. We never got around to that.
That's sad, man.
I remember you saying, who did they upset? They upset the Cardinals, and then who was the 2 seed? Braves. And I remember they were playing the Padres, and I remember you saying, we're not losing to the fucking Padres. And I was like, I just remember seeing that tweet, and I was like, I wish I was that confident.
No, bro, when they smoked the Padres, I felt they won it. I was like, they're beating Houston. Even though Houston's way better, but that's just not what baseball is.
No, I picked that World Series on my blog, and I flirted with Philly. I really did, but I was like, Astros got too much talent.
Pitching staff was insane, man. They were just shitting on their lineup. But the Phillies are going to be good again this year, and they're probably not even going to win their division.
Did they sign anyone?
Ray Turner.
That's right. I thought they signed a big name. So, yeah, I mean, NL East...
And some defense, dude. That's the Phillies' problem. They have no defense, none. They have like 2 errors a game that give up a run, and that's why they end up losing.
I watched the episode of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia last night when they go to the World Series. Such a good episode.
Closet.
the tunnel to the Holiday Inn.
What did they call the liquor?
Oh, I just watched it last night.
Blackout juice or something? It's so funny.
Hang on.
Blackout.
I'm gonna look that up. Something juice. Drink in World Series episode Always Sunny. Riot Punch. Riot Punch.
Dude, and they're like trying to get hit by a nice car so they can get in the stadium and they get fucking
because they don't have tickets because Frank, their apartment got bug bombed and that's where they left them. That's such a good episode. You got to listen to their podcast, dude.
I really do.
All right.
I love the books you send me though that keep me that tell me the behind the scenes shit.
I send every time I watch one, I'm like, oh, that was behind, and I'll tell you what happens on the podcast.
Dude, the Poison Glaze shit. I've been laughing at that.
Oh, dude. Oh my God.
Poison Glaze.
You tagging me in that tweet about Von Hayes. I lost my mind at work because I haven't seen that episode in years.
Because it's an old one.
I know. I really only watched from season 7 on, and that's season 6, I think. But and it's a Christmas episode, so I don't want to watch a Christmas episode, unless it's Christmas. And you tagged me in that. I lost my mind at work. I couldn't get anything done for an hour because I was just sitting there laughing at Von Hayes walks in here. You got one for Von Hayes.
Dude, Charlie pushed him out. I said, no one knows who Von Hayes is.
Dude, no one knows who Von Hayes is.
Dude, that was so funny. He's Bedrock Petrosian. I don't know.
Steve Bedrock Petrosian.
Dude, that's so fucking funny.
That show is so good. I watch that clip on YouTube from time to time, and the comments are just unless you're from Philly, that's not gonna be funny. Or unless you're a diehard baseball fan.
Yeah. Mike Schmidt.
He loses his mind because the guy doesn't know who Mike Schmidt is. You've never heard of Mike Schmidt.
I don't buy it. Next, you're going to tell me you don't know who Von Hayes is.
He's baseball's all-time leading home run hitter. No, he's not.
For white guys, he is. He's
not even for white guys. Babe Ruth's got more than him.
I think Charlie might be just as equally as funny in that scene as funny.
Dude, I think Charlie Day could be on Will Ferrell's level if he left It's Always Sunny. You know what I mean?
But don't.
No, and I hope he doesn't either. But if he just said, guys, it's been a fun run. I want to go make movies or whatever. I think he could be on Will Ferrell's level of funny.
He's done it. I mean, he's made big movies. So.
I mean, Horrible Bosses is one of my favorites.
Dude,
that's what put him on the map for me. I was like, who is this guy?
Yeah.
He's hilarious.
Yeah.
And he doesn't do these movies so much because he's on It's Always Sunny.
And Jennifer Aniston just molesting him the entire movie. It's so funny. She's not that hot, dude.
Oh, come on. I wasn't even thinking, I was just what a horrible 6 weeks of just getting felt up by Jennifer Aniston for 6 weeks.
Overrated woman of all time.
Oh, shut up. You don't know what you're talking about.
She is. I'll send you way hotter girls right now.
Who were we saying is super hot? Sarah Cameron, obviously.
Yeah.
No, it was the girl the Jonas Brothers married to.
Oh, yeah, Priyanka Chopra?
Yes, her.
She's hotter. All right, brother.
All right, yes. I've taken up too much of your time.
No, you're good, brother. I'm about to go to bed. I feel like shit. All right, bud. Good to talk to you.
Yes. Man, this show's so much better when you're on.
Love you, bud.
Later.